There will be 2 stories in this video. Enjoy.
Am I the jerk for not wanting to invite my husband's cousin, her husband, and their 5 children to our house for Thanksgiving dinner? 2 weeks ago we invited my husband's cousin, her husband, and their 5 children, 11F, 8 meters, 4 meters, 3 meters, 6 months old baby boy, to our house for dinner. Her 4 older kids were horrible the entire time. They broke some of my daughter's toys, got chocolate on our dining room chairs, they screamed every time they argued over things, they kept trying to terrorize my fish and bearded dragon, and the 11-year-old girl was mean and told my 5-year-old daughter that she looks like a boy, which she doesn't, and I'm not just saying that because she's my daughter. Since then, my daughter has been asking if she looks like a boy, and we don't know what else to say to reassure her that she doesn't and that she's a very beautiful girl. During their time here, the mom had a hard time supervising them because she had the 6-month-old to breastfeed and entertain, and the dad couldn't get the boys under control because they wouldn't listen to him. The dad actually wanted to go outside and grill with my husband, but my husband kindly asked him to stay inside and help watch his kids after seeing how active and disruptive they were. Many times I offered my husband's cousin to hold and watch the baby so that she could keep an eye on her other kids, but she always refused. I'm pregnant and felt too tired to deal with her boys, but at the same time I felt like that was the parents' job, and not mine. I had already spoken to the kids about how to treat animals, keeping their voices down while indoors, how to be gentle with other children's toys, but they literally didn't care. After they left, my husband and I agreed that they will not be invited to our house again. If we want to spend time with them, it'd be at a park or something. We're hosting Thanksgiving this year, and we're now being highly criticized by his side of the family because we are not planning on inviting his cousin and her family. They said that we should at least invite them one last time for Thanksgiving, but we don't want to deal with parents that can't keep their children under control in our house again. Are we assholes for not wanting to invite them for Thanksgiving dinner for a last time? Update: I read someone's comment about us knowing beforehand how the kids behave, and that's not true. A little over 2 months ago, my husband received a call from his cousin, that he had not seen nor heard of since they were teenagers, and she said that they've been living in our state for the past 4 years. No one had any idea that she was living here, much less living just an hour away from us. On that phone call she invited us to her house to meet her family, and so we went to her house on a weekend. The few hours we were in her home, the kids seemed well behaved, and none of them acted crazy. The worst they did was run around, but that's not an issue and I don't mind that at all. A few days later, my husband asked me if I was okay with him inviting them over one weekend for dinner, and I agreed. During their visit in our house, we were surprised by the children's behavior, and we don't understand how they could be on their best behavior in their own home, and be out of control in someone else's home. We were under the impression that they knew how to behave in other people's homes the way they do in theirs. Ida for telling my son that his stepsister invaded his privacy? I have an 18-year-old son and a 16-year-old stepdaughter. They are civil with each other but have their own lives. It is just how our family is, especially since my husband and I got married when my son was 14 and his daughter was 12. I'm not too strict with my son. I don't know what he does with his friends, and I'm not too involved in his personal relationships. We are still just as close as any other mother and child. Anyways, a couple days ago my stepdaughter sent me a series of photos of my son. I believe he may have posted them on his private social media accounts, and it was images of him at parties, smoking, drinking, and doing things with both genders. I immediately told my stepdaughter that what she did was unnecessary and inappropriate. She replied with, "Sorry, just thought you should know." I told her that unless he's in danger or hurting himself/other people, I'd rather not know what my 18-year-old son does in his free time. Now I did not want them to fight, so I didn't say anything. Especially since my stepdaughter apologized once again. But yesterday I was with my husband and he was showing me a video on his phone when his daughter started sending him a bunch of messages. He opened them in front of me and it was the same exact pictures of my son that she sent me days before. But this time she said, "So I sent these to stepmom, but she thinks this is okay behavior. Do you agree?" My husband didn't really know how to react and told her that it really wasn't any of their business what he does, and she just sent a bunch of viral emojis. My son came home a while later and I decided to tell him that his stepsister was sending us pictures of him. He seemed confused and asked to see, so I showed him the messages. He was extremely embarrassed and upset and went to his room. I then heard him on the phone yelling at someone. My stepdaughter came home an hour later and started yelling at me for snitching on her. I told her that she was invading his privacy and he has the right to know. I gave her the benefit of the doubt the first time, but then she sent the pictures to her father. She said that I just ruined half of her friendships and my son and a lot of his friends blocked her on social media. She says that she had good intentions and wanted me to know what he was up to just in case, but I just had to assume the worst. My husband agrees that my son should know, but he thinks we could have just given him a vague idea instead of showing the pictures and actually telling him. Ida? Edit. Him posting those pictures on social media was just my assumption. Some look very clearly posted by him on his private social media accounts, but some were blurry enough for me to question it. My son is too embarrassed to even look at me right now, so I cannot confirm. I'm trying and have reassured him, but he's locked himself in his room, so I'm giving him some time before trying again. Also, I clearly state that I have no interest in his personal relationships. I know he doesn't hang out with weird or dangerous people, and that is all I need to know. I did not say that I have no interest in his life at all. That is an extremely unfair assumption.